If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It looked like an ordinary morning, but the two sisters were already planning another prank. The young maid was quicker than they expected. She gracefully jumped over the trap. But things didn't go as planned. The bowl of pancake batter flew high into the air. Splash! A second later, both sisters were covered in sticky batter from head to toe. From their little hiding place, the two tiny mice watched everything. And tried not to laugh. The tiny mice decided it was time to help their friend with a clever little prank. While nobody was watching, they quietly switched the sugar with salt. One bite was enough. The surprised sister instantly knew something was terribly wrong. But the sisters refused to give up. They quickly prepared another sneaky trick. At the very last second, the young maid bent down, and the plan went completely wrong. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind changed everything. The bright green paint landed in the most unexpected place. The sisters weren't ready to surrender. They immediately came up with another plan. A sticky little trap appeared on the floor, almost impossible to notice. The young maid took one careful step forward, and oh no, her shoes were stuck to the floor. The two tiny mice hurried away to prepare another clever surprise. With a piece of string and a few flour sacks, they built the perfect little trap. It took only one tiny step for everything to happen at once. Moments later, the sister walked out, completely covered in flour like a funny little ghost. For a brief moment, the kitchen became quiet again. But the peace didn't last very long. Soon, pillows, towels, and kitchen tools were flying all over the room. The playful battle quickly spread into the living room. While nobody was looking, the young maid prepared a funny little surprise. The sisters happily stood in front of the mirror, completely unaware of the prank. They admired themselves proudly without noticing the silly drawing. Then they finally realised what had happened, and panic filled the room. Just then a carriage appeared on the road leading to the house. Everyone rushed to clean the house before it was too late. The carriage came closer and closer while the last little mess slowly disappeared. At last the house sparkled from top to bottom. The elegant lady stepped out of the carriage and slowly walked toward the front door. She quietly entered the house and carefully looked around every corner. Everything looked perfectly clean. She gave a small nod of approval, and everyone quietly relaxed. But suddenly the big black cat dashed after one of the tiny mice carrying a giant pillow. Splash! The bucket of water completely missed the young maid. And the soaking wet cat slid straight into the giant silk pillow. Poof! The pillow burst open, sending fluffy white feathers dancing through the entire room. The two tiny mice rolled across the floor, laughing as the feathers floated everywhere. Meanwhile, the sisters tried their very best to catch every single feather. The poor black cat now looked more like a fluffy little chicken than a fierce hunter. Suddenly, the front gate opened again. Everyone hurried to clean the room together. Moments later, everything was spotless, and the girls stood quietly with innocent smiles. Then one fluffy feather gently landed on the elegant lady's hat, and everyone burst into laughter. The end!